So I want you to take a wild guess of what you think leftists would spend the 4th of July doing. Because if you answered anything along the lines of protesting for Palestine or similarly related third world causes, that is exactly what they did yesterday. They actually did a whole Palestine march in multiple different cities. And what's hilarious is these are the people who constantly try to tell us that our stuff sucks. What have we heard? The UFC was lame. The fireworks show is lame. The Great American State Fair is lame. And then you turn around and watch how these people actually celebrate, and it just tells you everything you need to know. They are such absolute losers. But ladies and gentlemen, what's even funnier is we so often hear from capital D Democrats that this is not really happening. Their voters are not actually like this. Actually, libtards can be patriotic too. And we've been saying, no, they're not, right? They actually do not want to celebrate America's 250th. We were previously reading articles of left-wing USA soccer fans who are now saying, because of Trump, I'm not sure if I can root for America. And this general sentiment, okay, they really are hating on the celebration. They are hating on the 4th of July. We tried to tell you that. People tried to call us crazy right-wingers. Oh, you're just trying to politicize patriotism. No, we're not. You're the ones politicizing patriotism because you're making it your stated political stance. We are not patriotic, and to see them actually do that out in the streets to a very limited and frankly pathetic capacity, but still yesterday, ultimately told you the story. So let's laugh at these idiots. First, though, do us a favor. If you enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is the best way to support our work, and it also ensures that you can stay up to date with all of the latest news and coverage. And with that said, if you have a certain algorithm on social media that maybe is not good for your mental health, you probably saw a lot of posts like this going viral on social media yesterday, and I did see it in some of my own feeds. Stuff like this right here, right? The US is the most evil country in world history, and on the 250th anniversary of its founding, there are no words to truly encompass the extent of violence that this white supremacist imperialist settler colony has unleashed internally and on the world stage. And so this was a pretty widely expressed sentiment all over the internet, but it did to some extent materialize in real life because, of course, yesterday, while in other parts of Washington, D.C., the Patriots are having a great time. We're doing the state fair. We're doing an electric fireworks show. Trump is speaking. Those of you who saw it on TV, there's been high praises as well, right? That whole thing looked awesome. It was awesome, despite the heat, despite everything they try to throw at us, despite the criticism. But let's now take a look at our critics, right? Just understand when they attack us, these are the people who are attacking us. Here they were in Washington, D.C. yesterday. I kid you not, spending our Independence Day protesting for Palestine. Look at these losers. Check it out.
These people are so f***ing annoying. It's unbelievable. Holy shit. You just literally could not be more annoying. Oh my.
I mean, how absolutely sad and pathetic, how low energy. And these are the people who want to compare crowd sizes with us. They're going to say nobody was at the state fair and all this stuff. Look at you people. And maybe one of the most white-pilling aspects of that whole video is how you can clearly tell there's like normal DC tourists or travelers on the street who are just completely ignoring these idiots. I love to see that, right? And that really is the energy. To some extent, we've for a long time described modern politics as sure, left versus right, absolutely, that's a thing. But that more properly defined is just the normal people versus insane, crazy freak people. And that's kind of what you saw, right? Everyone's just, oh, here we go again. These idiots, ignoring them. Nobody freaking cares. Barely anyone is showing up to go support them. And we saw similar scenes over in New York City where a small batch of Antifa adjacent people go through the streets chanting death to America. But likewise, the normal people are just fatigued of this stuff. They don't care. They're not listening. They're not participating. And here you have the crazy people, aka the left, exposing themselves.
Death to the USA, goddammit. Death to the USA. Death to the USA.
So yeah, as I've said many times, I think the contrast over USA 250 is very fitting and very telling. because you have the normal patriots who are enjoying themselves and celebrating this country and having a great time. And then you have the miserable, crazy, freak leftists who are saying stuff like this right here. And, I think even conservatives maybe get this wrong sometimes when we say, oh, that's just Trump derangement syndrome, right? You hate Trump so much that you're going to tear down all of America on USA 250 and you're not even going to celebrate the 4th of July. You're not going to celebrate the country. See, that's the thing. Trump's a convenient excuse for them to not do that, but how do you think they really feel? Regardless of Trump being president or not, what are their true politics? This is something we should understand. And of course, again, capital D Democrats will often be in denial over this. They'll say, well, no, we want to celebrate patriotism as well. And then you listen to their concept of patriotism, and it's basically just gay race communism, right? Total revisionism. But then they'll also maybe even try to use the defense of, hey, these are small crowds of really crazy far left people. These are communists. These are stated Antifa members. And very often they'll say, oh, well, those people aren't even voting Democrat anyway, because some of them claim they're too far left for the Democrat Party, to which I say, okay. So if they're not Democrats, if they're not associated with any mainstream liberal cause or movement in America, then it's very simple, all right? Disavow them then. Say that they're wrong then. It's very simple. Go out there and do that, right? Notice that they won't, and they never do. Why? Because these far left crazy communist agitators, as we've seen at the ICE protests, as we've seen many times throughout No Kings, actually are a major part of the Democrat base. And whether they're voting D every election or boycotting because they're crazy far left, it doesn't matter. Notice how they're always moving the ball down the same field. They're always advancing in the same direction. We've explained this relationship before, actually, where the Democrat Party will often use, for example, Antifa and the crazy far left agitators and people who cause violence, they intimidate, to kind of, move them in the direction that they want, right? Make it difficult, for example, for ICE to carry out operations, or back in the day, try to intimidate Trump supporters away from publicly avowing their politics or anything like that. And then in the rare case that you have a not so rare, I should say, but in the case that you have like a Tyler Robinson or someone who goes too far, quote unquote, for the Democrats, they can play this little chicken game where they say, oh, well, we disavow violence. We never called for that. We just pushed everyone to that point. We never explicitly condemned the ideas or the radicalism that breeds this violence. But hey, that wasn't us. That was Antifa. That was a radical communist person. Or many times they don't even acknowledge that, right? They don't even acknowledge that these people exist. They just say Antifa's an idea. Tyler Robinson was right wing, this type of behavior. Yet every single time you see how it goes. And so that's why I say, do not be naive. Do not try to make a separation between capital D Democrats and capital C communists, if you want to put it that way. Absolutely, these people are all moving in the same exact direction. And so, yes, I'm going to go out and publicly state that is how left-wingers celebrated America on the 250th. They're protesting. They're bitterly seething against the country. And let me just say, if that's not you, if you're maybe even not the most political person, but you just find that behavior to be a little bit off-putting, you find these people to be freaks, in 2026, welcome to the Republican Party. What else can I say? Like, that is actually the contrast here. It's not to say the GOP is perfect or the conservative movement. You don't have to agree with every aspect of it. But as we have been saying, that is the divide in politics. It is the crazy versus the normal. And you can see these people are not normal. And so while I find it to be unfortunate that there's not bipartisan support for America on our Independence Day, let that also be a very useful contrast. Hey, look at who's celebrating, look at who's not.
I may be a loner, but y'all hang out with people that talk shit about y'all.
And you notice, too, that to the extent to which Democrats do claim to be patriotic or celebrate America, it always looks like this right here, right? Did anyone see the thing Zoran Mamdani did yesterday where he's standing around a bunch of Muslims at George Washington's old desk and basically trying to say that, America is about Islam and it's about our gay race communism and all of these things. And, it's just an absolute, roll your eyes. What the heck is that? But ever notice that is, whenever they choose to wear the patriotic skin suit, that's what it's about, right? It's about basically trying to revise history to fit a Marxist vision, which they've been doing for a very long time, arguably like decades by now, right? The kind of left-wing revisionism of American history. But at this point, I would argue it's not even really revision. It's just borderline conquest, right? It's the behavior of people who at the very least believe that they have conquered another people, in the same sense that, for example, when the Ottoman Turks took Constantinople, when they destroyed the Eastern Roman Empire and turned Hagia Sophia into a mosque, is that even considered like revisionism at that point? Or is that basically, oh, we're going to take your city, take your stuff, kind of occupy it, and maybe use it, right? And take it over, make it our thing. But it's still, at the end of the day, almost like this humiliation ritual that you have to sit there and watch. Yeah, sit there and witness as our people declare that we've conquered your people. And that, honestly, it's nowadays, that's basically all you get from supposed liberal displays of patriotism. I would say it's actually that behavior right there. Except in the case of Mamdani, in the case of many people thus far who have tried to trample on George Washington and his memory, and believing that they have won, especially when you compare their celebrations of the 4th of July yesterday to ours, I have to say on many levels, this is kind of a premature victory lap. I am remaining optimistic. I don't think these people have won. I think they look rather pathetic. And, if you don't want to believe me on that, I mean, let's just do that, right? Okay, so here was our thing yesterday, right? Side by side on the screen. This is us. This is them, right? It's like that. That's their thing. This is our thing. Who's winning? Who's winning the national argument? Who's going to win in the end? Who has the resources to win in the end? Who has the capacity to win? Who has the will to win? It is not these losers, okay? Don't get me wrong. They are very violent, okay? They fight hard, all right? But at the end of the day, they are pathetic communist losers. We can beat these people. We will beat these people. My spirit is high on this as we currently speak, and do not despair. What else can we say? But just such a fitting contrast, right? Look at these miserable, unhappy freaks. Look at us. We're winning. We're winning. All right. Anyways, that said, let me know your thoughts on this, guys, in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.